The stench of sweat and fear hung heavy in the air. The auction hall was packed with beings from all corners of the galaxy, each one more insidious than the last, waiting for the next item to be sold. But Xhira wasn't an item. She was an alien, a shattered soul who had been broken down by years of torment, slavery, and abuse. She had no name, no past, no hope. Xhira, the last of her species, had been captured during an interstellar conflict. Her people, the Virulins, were known for their peaceful ways and incredible psychic abilities, but that didn't matter to the slavers. What mattered was her beauty, her glowing azure skin, the way her violet eyes shimmered with intelligence, and the ability to manipulate energy. They saw nothing but profit, and so she was sold like any other commodity. Her last owner had beaten her to the point of no return. Now, her once vibrant eyes were dull, and her psychic abilities were nothing more than a faint echo of what they once were. She had been stripped of everything that made her virulent, leaving only a hollow shell of a girl who had long ago lost all desire to fight. Xhira stood in a metal cage, a mere display, as the auctioneer's voice rang out, selling her to the highest bidder. The crowd cheered, jeered, and made their bids. But none of them saw her. They saw only what they could do to her, how much they could make her suffer. They wanted her for their own twisted desires, to break her further or use her for power. She felt numb. That was when he walked into the room. Captain Jace Thorne was a man of few words. His rugged face and battle-worn uniform showed the years he had spent as a mercenary across the galaxy. He had seen war, loss, and suffering that left scars deeper than the ones on his body. But what set Jace apart was something few people understood. He wasn't here for money. He wasn't here to sell anything. He was here to rescue. When Jace's eyes locked with Xhira's, something shifted. He didn't see her as a broken creature to be discarded. He saw a warrior, a survivor, someone worth saving. The auctioneer paused, sensing an opportunity. Captain Thorne, a man with a reputation, no doubt looking for something more interesting. This fine specimen here, an exotic alien girl, once a powerful psychic, now broken and ready for a new master. What will you offer? Jace's eyes never left Xhira. He strode toward the cage, his boots thudding against the cold floor. The bidding war raged on behind him, but he wasn't listening. He wasn't even interested in the price. Without hesitation, he pulled out a small coin from his pocket and threw it on the counter. I'll take her. Right now. No bidding. The room fell silent. You're making a mistake, Captain. I'm not here for your profits. I'm here to take her. Jace's voice was steady, full of certainty. He never flinched. He didn't care what anyone thought. The auctioneer hesitated. The offer was too low to be profitable, but the look in Jace's eyes made him think twice. After a moment of tense silence, the auctioneer nodded and unlocked the cage. Jace approached it slowly, like a man about to approach something fragile. He knelt in front of Xhira, meeting her gaze. Her eyes flickered briefly, showing just a hint of recognition. Are you ready to leave this place? He asked quietly. Xhira said nothing at first, but she nodded slowly. For the first time in years, someone treated her like she was more than a broken thing. Someone cared. They left the auction hall, walking through the crowded streets of the station. Xhira, still weak, leaned on Jace for support. They didn't speak much. There was nothing to say. She had learned long ago that humans were not kind creatures. They were just like the others, taking and taking, never giving. But Jace was different. He led her to a small ship parked on the outskirts of the station. It was a humble vessel, nothing like the sleek, enormous warships of the galactic elite, but it was his, and it was all he had. As they boarded, Jace helped Xhira to a seat, making sure she was comfortable before sitting across from her. Let me guess, he he said after a while, trying to break the silence. You don't trust me. She met his eyes, her voice quiet and fragile. I don't trust anyone. Fair enough, Jace replied. I didn't come here to make you trust me. I came to get you away from them. The rest is up to you. She looked at him, seeing something she hadn't in years, genuine kindness. The journey to Jace's home base, a quiet planet on the fringe of the galaxy, took a few weeks. During that time, Jace did everything he could to help Xhira heal, both physically and emotionally. He gave her space when she needed it, but he never left her alone for long. He knew that trust couldn't be earned with words alone. It had to be shown piece by piece. Xhira, for the first time in a long while, began to let her guard down. She could feel the subtle warmth of the sun on her skin when they landed on his planet. The first real warmth she had felt in years. At night, Jace would talk to her about his life, sharing stories of his adventures as a mercenary, and in turn, she would open up about her people, the Virulence, how they had once lived in peace and harmony until the war came. Her psychic abilities had once been a gift to her people, but after the war, they became a weapon for those who wished to control them. You don't have to be a weapon anymore, Jace told her one night. You're free, and if you ever want to use those abilities again, we'll make sure it's for the right reasons. But the past was never so easy to escape. One day, a group of bounty hunters arrived on Jace's planet. They had traced Xhira's escape to his ship, and they wanted her back. Alive or dead, it didn't matter. They stormed the base, guns drawn. Jace met them head-on. He wasn't going to give her up. Xhira could feel the panic in the air, but this time, something was different. She wasn't the broken alien anymore. She wasn't a prisoner. She was Xhira, and for the first time, she felt powerful. She stepped out into the open, her hands glowing with psychic energy. The bounty hunters froze, unsure of what they were facing. But Xhira wasn't about to let them take her back. With a single gesture, she sent a wave of energy crashing toward them, knocking them to the ground. The ground itself seemed to quake with her power. The bounty hunters scrambled, but it was no use. Xhira was no longer the fragile girl they had once captured. She was the warrior she was always meant to be. Jace watched from behind, his expression one of awe. You're incredible, he whispered. Xhira turned to him, her eyes flashing. No one ever told me that before. You're more than I could have imagined, Jace said, his voice filled with admiration. From that day on, Xhira wasn't just a survivor. She was a force to be reckoned with. And Jace wasn't just her savior. He was the man who had given her a second chance at life, who had seen her worth when no one else did. Together, they forged a new life. And as time passed, Xhira's strength and confidence grew. She found a new purpose, not as a broken alien girl sold for nothing, but as a warrior fighting for freedom in a galaxy that had once discarded her. And Jace, he never let her forget that. In his eyes, she had always been worth saving.